Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome to Fireside Chats State of Our Nation. I am your host, Susanna Tanner, candidate for House of Representatives 2026 and President 2028. We are going to be talking about the Supreme Court today. Let's start with our Constitution. Article 2, Section 2, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution states that the president has the power to nominate and appoint Supreme Court justices. The exact wording of that is, it can be a little hard to interpret, but it says that the president shall have the power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur, and he shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, shall appoint ambassadors and other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law, but the Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the president alone, and the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. So the Supreme Court justices are nominated by the President of the United States, along with ambassadors and other personnel for the executive branch. Justices should actually be elected by the people. Allowing the president to nominate Supreme Court justices sets up situations like what we have now, where an elected official has positioned people who support him so that he can attain what he wants, how he wants it, instead of for the people. Recent Supreme Court rulings actually support this behavior and have allowed Donald Trump to continue to violate the Constitution. Now, I frequently listen to the people. I read what people say on social media. I watch individuals' videos, opinions, thoughts, concerns, fears. I observe how people react to Supreme Court rulings, and the people are not happy. In fact, I would have to say the people are downright furious. If we were electing our Supreme Court's justices now, there would not be these issues. We would have elected people into those positions who show they will honor the Constitution and serve the people. By electing our Supreme Court justices, we, the people, are taking control of our justice system and positioning people who we believe are going to best serve the public. Electing the Supreme Court justices is not the only change we should make either. Limiting terms for Supreme Court justices to no more than 3 4-year terms or 12 years is another change we can make. There's a few reasons why 12 seems like a reasonable number for a Supreme Court justice, but we'll go into that another time. So how can we change our Constitution to support voting for Supreme Court justices? Well, we would need to set up a constitutional convention first, as it is how our Constitution is actually amended. We can amend our laws, our code of laws, all we want, all day long. But the Constitution, we actually can only alter with a constitutional convention. So for the convention, there would need to be several proposals for changes to the Constitution, ones that we would want to vote on prior to the convention, which would really be a confirmation of our votes, for the votes of the public. Now, one of those changes, well, obviously, some of those changes would be in Article 3 of the Constitution, which has to do with the Supreme Court justices and their role in our government. In fact, it's actually a fairly short article. So let's go over it for a minute or so, a few minutes. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in a Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. This clause in our Constitution states that inferior courts have judicial power of the United States. So the Supreme Court is not the law of the land. And in fact, Article 6, Paragraph 2 of the Constitution states this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound to their oath by anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Now, Article 3, Section 2, Paragraph 1 states, the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made or which shall be made under their authorities to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between the states, and between the states, citizens between the states. Well, that does seem pretty reasonable to me as a Supreme Court function of the United States. Now, Paragraph 2 states, in all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and those in which a state shall be the party of the Supreme Court, shall have original jurisdiction. In all other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as to law and fact, with exceptions and other such regulations as Congress shall make. That also seems pretty reasonable. Paragraph 3 states, the trial of all crimes excepting cases of impeachment shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crimes shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. Okay, that seems pretty reasonable, and so does the next section, actually. Section 3 of Article 2. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of two witnesses to the same overt action, or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attainted. Now, these all seem pretty reasonable on paper. It's getting our Supreme Court justices who are in office now to actually uphold their oath of office. Now, we should definitely add a fourth section to Article 3, which would obviously state the new election requirements should the people vote to change the Constitution this way, and as well as the term limits. We can do a lot better. We can do a lot to perfect our Constitution, to provide us the best path to success and to a stable nation. Amending the Constitution is just one of many things that we can do to create a better future for ourselves and our children. That is actually all I have for today. We have a lot to think about. If you like this content and you would like to leave a tip, you can find the QR code at the bottom of the screen, and the link to the tip page is in the description. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity.